Hi friends, welcome back to my Databricks series. So in this session, we'll learn how to create the multiple methods to create the schema in order to create the data frame. So in this data frame, we have to create the schema using multiple methods, and after that we can create the data frame to read the data from the CSV file. So here I will use three method. Method one. So we can use the detail method. So it is very straightforward and it is very easy to use. But you just need to define the schema by a single inverted comma, or it may be double inverted comma from the beginning and at the end. So if you are opening the single inverted comma, so then it may be make sure you have to close it through the single inverted comma also. So you can see from the beginning, I have whenever you are trying to use the detail schema, so you have to enter the single inverted comma three times. Also, at the terminate, also you have to define three times single inverted comma. And inside this, you have to define the fields. If you have the whatever the fields you have define it separated through the comma. And if you see, if you take an example, one field I like the ID. Okay, so the column name would be ID, but data type is the integer. Similarly, there is another column which is code, and the data type is the string. So if you see here, whatever the schema I have defined here, basically the fields which contain string as well as the integer. Maybe from your case it may be different. Maybe you have the float, the decimal, any other value. Okay, so according to that you have to define the data type. So it is the method one. Hmm. In the method two, we have to use the struct type. Okay, so it is a little bit complex, but yes, uh, it is also you can learn it, and we also use some method two and method three. So whenever you want to use the method two, so at that time make sure the required library would be imported, like the PySpark SQL dot types. Okay, you have to make sure you have to use that. Otherwise, the strict struct type, it would be failed, because struct type is basically that is the part of the your PySpark SQL types library. Okay, so whenever you have to define the method two, you just need to mention struct type, then bracket open, bracket close, dot add. So if you have the multiple columns, then you can do like the define like this. Okay, it will be method two. Uh, the method three, or it would be struct type as well as the struct field. The method three. Okay, so don't worry. So while like using the data frame, using the schema, uh, we'll use that. Okay, so let's jump over the Databricks UI, and let's use method one and method two and method three to create the schema. And after that, we'll try to create the data frame to read the data from our CSV file. So here we go. So first, we'll create the detail schema. So before creating the detail schema, so first of all, we have to read the file because we need to know how many fields is required to create for the schema. So if that is large file, it is very difficult to use the info schema to create the data frame to read the data. Okay, so that what we'll do, we just need to read the file. Okay, so you can use the command which is the dbutils dot fs dot ls. Then path of the file. Okay, see, this is the file for which you want to create the schema. Okay, then comma, how many bytes you want to read. Take an example, 100. Sorry, it would be here, right? Because we want to read the data. I don't want to do the list. Okay? I want to uh, read the data, like it would be 100 byte from the beginning. So I am using dbutils.fs.head. then path of the file, comma, then how many bytes you want to read. So you can see we have ID, code, local code, name, continent, ISO country, Wikipedia link, and keywords. Those are the fields name. So according to that, we have to create the detail schema. So the schema name, like we can define region underscore schema one equal to. So whenever we are trying to create the detail schema, it will be started by using single inverted comma, or it may be double inverted comma 3 times. Okay. So I can take single inverted comma here. Then the field name would be ID. Then what is the data type? It would be integer. Similarly, I can add other fields. So let me add the other fields. Then we can terminate using three single inverted comma also. Okay. So let me complete that. So you can see I have created the schema to create the data frame from this for this CSV file. So here also we can create the variable for this file, so you don't need to define or type the whole path while creating the data frame. So I can mention path equal to this. Okay. So now how we can create the data frame? You just need to type spark create spark read CSV. Then the file of the path would be path. You can define the path dot schema would be region underscore schema one. The header equal. We can define the variable like the df equal to spark.read.csv, the path of the file, then the schema. Then you have to define the header name also because you have the header in this file, so you have to skip it. So you have to mention header dot uh, equal true. Then execute it. Okay, 1 second. Yeah, it seems the required library has been not imported. So before running this, uh, before creating this data frame, make sure you have to import the required library. So let me run it. Spark rate dot format, then CSV dot schema one option header truth, then loads. We can display the data here. So you can see here using the detailed schema, we are able to create the data frame as well as we are able to read the data. Okay. So similarly, I can create the you can use the method to create the schema and to create the data frame. And in order to create the method 2, Yeah, here you can see all the required library has been already imported. So you don't need to do anything. I mean, you don't need to import again here. So you just need to create the schema. So take an example schema region underscore schema 2. So it will be struct type dot like ID, and the data type would be integer, and you want to allow to insert the null value, so you can type true. So similarly, we can add the rest of the fields here. So let me complete that. So you can see here all the fields are defined here using the method to the schema has been created. So what I'll do now, we can create another data frame. Okay, we just need to rename the data frame name, and the process is same to read the data. Okay, so you can mention df2, and you have to using the method to schema region under schema 2. Okay, then all the other parameter would be mean same. Then let me execute that. Okay, so now you can try to display the data. Yeah, it's also working fine. Okay, so method 2 also working fine. So we have the last method, method 3. Okay, so we can mention region underscore schema 3 equal to struct type. Okay, so you can see the struct type. Okay, inside this, it is the symbol of the list. Okay, so inside this list, we can define the field with the data type. Okay, like struct field. The column name would be ID. The data type would be integer, integer type, and you allow to insert the null value, so you have to mention true. Okay. So similarly, we can define the rest of the column name. So you can see the schema 3 has been also completed. So you can use the same method to read the data from the CSV file. Here also, if you try to display the data, it's also working fine. Okay. So let me show here. So you can see here in this session, I created a different kind of schema to read the data from the CSV file to get the data frame, and all are working fine. So it's up to you which data from you want to choose. So thank you guys. So I will connect in the next session for the new topic. Okay, thank you.